Hello there, welcome back. Today we are going to do the final part of this mini mansion or something. So if you've watched the previous two, thank you so much. If you haven't, there'll probably be some links in the description box. And yeah, so now we are just finishing off this build. We're just going to do a couple of the rooms up on the upper floors, as well as the, I guess, sort of the surrounding. I won't say like landscaping, because to be honest, there's not that much landscaping going on. It's really simple. I really wanted to keep it pretty clean on the outside, and yeah, so we just add a couple of lights to make it a little bit cooler. We do play around with lights in terms of like lighting design. So you can put like lights as a way to, as you know, the functional means of actually lighting up a place and making it brighter. But we decide to actually use lighting to create a little bit of design. So that's a little bit interesting. I really actually wanted to use a couple of the lights, and it was finally an excuse to use it. So anyways, we're getting on to the, not the first bedroom, but a bedroom, well, the first bedroom in this video, I should say. And I think I actually was looking on Pinterest and stuff, and I saw some pictures of, it didn't really look quite like this, but it was kind of cool because it had lights hanging down from the shelving, or like the like higher shelving, and I decided to do something similar to that. So I just got a couple of the little modern hanging lights and just use the black cabinets, and then yeah, so I'm just hanging the lighting from that, and I liked it because it felt a little bit like caved in a little bit. I'm not sure if any of you are like that, but I like kind of that cave feeling, like being in like your own personal space. That's kind of nice. So I decided to do something a little bit similar to that, and then I have floating counters on the side. Not counters, they're just floating cabinets. And I decided to change it actually to the brown color because I thought the neutral tone brown actually worked really nicely. I could have actually made the upper cabinets the same color, but I guess I just decided to keep it black. But I really like the cabinet, or the bedside table, like floating cabinets, because the wood's really nice. It's light and bright, which is also good. Anyways, so I did say in my last video that all the rooms, so there's 3 rooms that are basically the same exact layout, and this one is kind of like on the middle floor, because all of the rooms are really similar in terms of layout. Each of them have the like closet in that sort of section, and all the beds are aligned. Actually, no. The beds aren't aligned all on the same wall, but it has a similar shape. And this one is, I think, a tad bit longer. So it's maybe a little bit bigger, but this one does not have an individual bathroom. So it does have to share this sort of mutual hall bath, the one for guests, I guess. But yeah, and then so I decided to create like a little bit of a vanity. I've never done that before in The Sims. Well, because Sims don't really, you know, have that interaction of putting on makeup at a desk or anything. They just, you know, you just go and create a Sim, and then you change their clothes and makeup and things like that. But I decided to make it a little bit like of a vanity instead of like a computer desk, because I feel like I usually do computer desk in the room. I don't know, I mean, maybe it's just because I'm so attached to my own computer. I've felt the need to, but I thought that was nice. And then I just put the, what is it? I feel like those chairs have a name. Are they like called ghost chairs? Those ones that are acrylic chairs, the ones that are like see-through. But it's kind of like shaped like a baseball glove, I guess. So I guess it fits, you know, your butt nicely. And yeah, so that's the first time I've used that, because I think it came in Get to Work. So yeah, I've been really enjoying the Get to Work pack. Not new at all, but you know, new for me. And yeah, I just put a fluffy rug under that ghost chair, and then a mirror in front of the windows. That might not be, you know, a popular thing that people do, because I mean, why would you want to cover up a window? But I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. And yeah, so it's kind of interesting too, because this bedroom actually has like a lounge area before you go into the bedroom, and I do section it off a little bit from the common space area as well. So in this little lounge area, there's a I guess like a computer desk nook area, and I just put a little chair here with a nice little plant. It's really nice too because it's kind of common space, but you can think of it as like a whole suite. Like you have a computer section, you have your bathroom attached right outside the door, but you know, it's still a common space, so people can use your bathroom and people can use your computer desk. And yeah, so this is another common space. This is another living area. There's a lot of living areas in this room or in this house because of the enormity of the size of this build. I was just trying to fill up a lot of space. So this one is just kind of like a little sitting area. This one doesn't have too much going on. It's not like an activities room or anything. So there's just a console table and then there is the chairs. I was trying to do something a little bit different with this sort of decor. So you can see, like maybe, I don't know if that many players, other sim players would necessarily match these items together. Like you have the rustic bench of that console table, and then you have like a zebra print rug. Kind of a weird combination, but I think it works all right. And then this one is something that I decided to add just kind of on a whim. I really liked it, so I just put a little, I'm not sure actually what that item is. It could be a spa day item, but I would imagine it to be like a drinks cart. Because it's right outside the master bedroom, so I thought that maybe it's like, you know, the owner of the house or something can get a nice little retreat away from everything and have a drink if they wanted to. And yeah, so the rest of it is also common space. We have a couple of activities downstairs, but most of the, well, not most, but there's a couple of activities upstairs as well. So I think down here we get a bookshelf and then we get a chess table and just a couple of chairs and stuff. So you can sit down, you can read, you can just relax and, I don't know, wait or something. And yeah, so upstairs as well, there's another lounge area. There's tons of lounge areas in this place. You know, if you ever have a foot cramp, you'll be good for like being in this house because there's so much seating. And yeah, so we're using this bookshelf again. I really am enjoying this bookshelf. I think it's good. So I've done a library before, but I think I would like to revisit the idea of a library because in that build, I was actually struggling to find a good bookshelf that would stack nicely, and I feel like this bookshelf, if you use like the 9 key or the Control 9 key, I feel like it would work really well with stacking these bookshelves on top of each other. And yeah, I think they would look really good. It does look like kind of like a commercial bookshelf as well, so yeah, I might revisit doing a library, but the reason I'm hesitant about doing one of those is because I don't even use them in my game. I never go to libraries in my game because, you know, the only thing that they have is like a bookshelf and a computer. It's like I can buy those things when I actually play the game. And yeah, I also don't even think I go to the library like in general that much anymore. I used to go when I was in college, you know, to study. I never checked out any books or anything, but now when I actually read books, I kind of just buy books. Yeah. Anyways, so we're going on to the 3rd floor, and then we are just furnishing the bathrooms. This is a tedious process because I probably should have just created one bathroom and then just duplicated it because they're the exact same layout and use the exact same items. But I guess the reason I didn't was because I thought that they would be a little bit different, but they ended up not being, so yeah. Anyways, so we actually touched on this bedroom in the last part of this build, but we didn't finish it. So now we are just going to finish the build. And at this point, I've done like 4 bedrooms already, and I've kind of exhausted my design inspiration ideas. So this bedroom, I decided to try to make it a little bit muted, a little bit more calm and serene than the other bedrooms that have a lot of color, have a lot of action going on. And yeah, so this one uses a little bit more of a milder, I guess, color palette. I used a couple of browns. I mean, obviously the bedding, like duvet cover is not, that muted or anything. It's kind of like a bright, bold red and purple, but with all the surfaces, with like the bedside tables, the shelves, this little console table, it's a little bit like of a neutral brown. And also, so I know that, Sims can't sit at that like makeshift vanity section, but I really liked that console table. I think it's actually a display table, but I used it as like just a side table. And yeah, I decided to put a chair underneath it. I don't know if Sims will interact with it. They probably can't. I hope so. I don't know. But I know that the chair isn't usable, but I liked the look of it. And yeah, so now I guess we are going into the final furnishing, I guess. I think this is the last bit of the furnishing, but we just have what would I call it? I called it like a rec room, like a recreational room, because this is kind of like the lounge area. Maybe if the Sim family that you put in here has kids, this will be where the kids hang out, because there's a TV, the couches look a little bit more comfortable and casual, and yeah, there's a couple of activities as well. I put a piano, I put a bookshelf, just kind of a nice chill place. Not too formal, definitely not formal at all, really. I'm not sure if the design is really strong in this section of the home, maybe because, it's not a space that guests usually see, so it's not, too stylized or anything. But yeah, definitely more casual, definitely more laid back, and just whatever. And yeah, so unfortunately I wasn't able to get a grand piano in, which is really unfortunate because of the size of the home. This is a massive home, and for some reason I didn't even get to put the piano in, but I ended up putting just a keyboard in. So, maybe not as nice and glamorous as a grand piano, but there is a keyboard, so yeah. And then that door actually goes out to the balcony. There's a lot of balconies in this build. That one is a common space balcony, and then there's one on the other side of the home as well that is another balcony to like the front of the house. And yeah, so neither of these bedrooms upstairs have access to the balcony, but actually the bedroom on the right has like really big windows that look into the room, so or look into the balcony section. So yeah. We were doing a little bit of furnishing of the balcony, I guess, but I decided to keep a lot of the furnishing on the outdoors really simple. Yeah, mostly I just put a table and chairs, and then downstairs on the first floor there is a barbecue and like I guess a dining table or something like that. And yeah, again, this is the master bedroom balcony. Really simple. I just put 2 benches and a coffee table. And then we are finally getting onto the exterior. So we're kind of just finishing it off the build. And yeah, I'm not really sure when the screenshots actually start, but I have a ton of screenshots because this home is really big. I have to show all the screenshots, and I know I've been sharing some screenshots in the previous builds, but this one has a couple from those builds and a couple new ones, just so you can get an idea, if you don't watch the other parts and you just watch this part, you can see all the screenshots. And yeah, so now we are going on to lighting design, and I think that's from Spa Day. Yeah, but I'm putting some lights around, which I actually didn't know the pattern of the light. So apparently the pattern on the light, they shine up and down, which is kind of cool because it creates a really interesting pattern on the walls. And sorry if you can't actually, when I put the lights directly on the wall, it doesn't show immediately because my game has to acknowledge the fact that, it's that light and it has to create that lighting pattern. So you'll notice that when I put the lights on, there's nothing happening, but then when I go back to it later, then it kind of shows the lighting pattern, which is a little bit funny. So yeah, and I tried not to get too carried away with that theme. I think I put it on a couple of the walls, but I think it's kind of cool. It makes a really interesting pattern on all the walls when you kind of like take a step back. And I don't feel like it's too overwhelming or anything, which is really nice. And also, so I'm putting lights inside of these kind of, what would I call them? Private, like paneling area, because it kind of creates a really cool pattern as well, which is nice. And then for the rest of the home, I'm doing landscaping, and again, really simple. I'm just putting the neatly manicured like shrubbery around. I remember to actually include a mailbox and a garbage can this time, because I always forget that. It's always a thing, a signature thing that I do. And then we're just putting a little bit of plants around. It did feel like a very barren lot, so I tried to put at least one tree in, and I think that's the maximum I ended up putting, which is just one tree and just a couple of bushes around, but super simple. You can see the back of this home. It kind of just didn't even look like there should be anything in the back. I just didn't know what to put there. It felt, because the back is kind of very flat. It's not like a L-shaped back or anything, so it was a little bit weird to figure out what to put. So I ended up putting nothing, and I think it works. It's fine for me. And yeah, so a lot of balcony spaces, a lot of outdoor spaces, as well as a ton of indoor spaces. And then I'm actually changing up the positioning of the mailbox and the garbage can a little bit. I liked that little section for the garbage can, and then the mailbox was just awkwardly floating around, so I decided to create this little flower bed, maybe. There's like a section for the mailbox. My home has this too, like my real home in real life. We have like a little plants around the mailbox on purpose. I think it's kind of cute. And yeah, just putting a couple of rocks around, but I think, yeah, we're about to end the video portion and now the screenshots. So be prepared for a ton of outdoor screenshots, because the rest of the video, if you're looking, it's like 3 minutes worth of screenshots, and a lot of them are the outdoors, because I really like the outdoors. I think it looks good. I spent a lot of time on it, and I'm really happy with this too, because I wasn't, copying any home I've ever seen before. I wasn't copying any sort of design. I just kind of created this by myself and did a lot of these things by myself, which I am pretty happy with. And it does have a lot of intriguing elements. There's a lot of like layering, there's a lot of dimension, you have curves, you're playing with lighting design, which is really cool. I think every side as well is like interesting. Every side has something appealing about it, which is actually really cool. It's something that I usually forget to do in a lot of my builds. Sometimes I'll like make the front really like okay looking, and then I'll make the back like okay looking as well, but the two sides just look plain and bland. But I'm pretty happy, because if you walk around the property like a whole 360, it looks good on each side. And I'm not scared to boast about my own work. And yeah, so now we get into a couple of screenshots. These ones are actually screenshots that I've shown before in my previous video, but I've cut a couple of them. I just decided to choose my favorite ones, but to give you like a recap of everything that we've done in the 3-part series, I guess. And yeah, so this is the upstairs. This is the new section, I guess. This is new as well, but then we get into the master, which I think I've seen, or I've showed before. And yeah, so the master is a little bit darker. Yeah, maybe a little bit cooler. The coloring is a little bit weird. It's like there's a random green rug and a green bedding, but who cares? And yeah, so this is the really cool sort of entrance into this bedroom. This bedroom is a little bit crazy, playing around with lots of colors. Yeah, I mean, but I really like it. I think it's cool. Yeah, and then here is the little vanity area, and then we get into the more recreational room just for lounging around, chilling out with some friends. We have the balcony, which shows, or you can see into this bedroom as well as the lounge recreational area. And yeah, this bedroom is a little bit crazy as well. Got a lot of things going on, a lot of patterns. Yeah, and then this one's a little bit more muted. I didn't put that much stuff on the walls, which I don't mind. It's kind of like a guest space where you kind of just, you know, that's it. But anyways, these are the floor plans. I don't want to get cut off or anything, but yeah, just one last screenshot, or I think we have two. Roof, and then the final one. So thank you so much for watching. Ahead of myself a little bit, but I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.